Yeah, we're seeing a lot of threats come into the labs every single day. We're seeing over 400,000 threats coming into Sophos labs alone. And what that really means is there's just so much more volume out there than there has ever been in the threat landscape. So in terms of innovation, in terms of what security companies are doing nowadays, we're trying to reduce the amount of complexity at the endpoint, at the network, and the amount of work that administrators have to do in order to keep their networks and their endpoints safe. That's why, from an innovation point of view, we're bringing in things like machine learning and anti-exploit technologies into our endpoint products, and also making sure that all of our different products are able to communicate with each other to provide contextual information about what is good and what is bad on the network. Because after all, what we want to do is we want to keep the good stuff in and the bad stuff out. Yeah, so I just mentioned there's a lot of threats out there, over 400,000 coming in from Sophos Labs. So from Sophos' point of view, what we're trying to do is we're trying to give the administrators, our customers, help in dealing with all of this as easily and as automatically as possible. We're trying to bring a lot of automation to threat response. And that means if we can get as many of those threats detected automatically and remediated automatically using things like machine learning, where a human analyst doesn't have to sit at a console, or even a human threat research analyst doesn't have to create a manual identity, then we're bridging that gap to real-time detection of all these threats, the known and the unknown threats. Machine learning does have different aspects to it. Like you said, there's decision tree, there's random forest, but there's also the deep neural nets, and that's what we're employing in our machine learning in order to make better decisions about what is malware and what is a benign file. And what these machine learning algorithms do is, once they get fed a training data set and they start to work on problem sets, they are able to learn from the samples of files that they're seeing incoming to the algorithm, and they're able to make better decisions about what is and what isn't malware. And it's just based on simply learning what good files look like, learning what bad files look like, and then understanding what are the important aspects of each of those files that are the telltale signs of what, let's say, a piece of malware is. And that's really what the deep neural net can do, is it can drill down much deeper of all the different aspects and the different structures of the file and be able to make those decisions automatically. So machine learning, while it's a great new technology and you will see it appear in a few different products, it's not the only thing that's going to get used. There are other products as well. Traditional AV is still excellent at detecting known malware with very low or no false positives whatsoever. So that technology still has a part to play. So to say that machine learning is going to permeate absolutely everything, I think is a bit of a, it's looking the wrong way. I think where we're going to do, and where Sophos is really concerned, is we're going to apply things like machine learning and new technologies where they fit and where they have the most benefit to our customers. And where there's another approach, maybe a better approach to determining whether something's bad or not, and reducing the risk and reducing the threat, then we'll use those approaches as well in a complete system. So what we're doing by integrating all these technologies together for the CSO, for the CISO, for anybody who's in tech really in an organization, is we're trying to give them as many automated tools as possible to be able to set the security of their environment so that they're doing less work on security and more work on other projects that maybe are enabling the business to do more. Maybe it's manufacturing more widgets, or maybe it's providing better healthcare. And so with Sophos, by providing this complete security, a suite of security that is synchronized and talks to, the different products talk to each other, that simplicity is going to be able to make sure that the organization as a whole has a very great baseline of security without having to resort to talking to different vendors or different support contracts. Increasingly at Sophos, we've been leveraging more of the cloud. So you've seen that with our Sophos Central release, where now we're also managing not only the endpoints and the mobile devices, but we've got data protection in there. We're adding email and web functionality as well. We have those already, but we're adding more functionality to those particular platforms. And just simply integrating all the platforms together. You're still going to need some hardware at the gateway, the network layer. You're going to need firewalls, but we want to make sure that as an administrator, as somebody who's using our products, you're able to do so from a central location, from a one point of visibility. And the progression of our products, I mentioned earlier about synchronization, about having them talk together. We're increasingly adding more products to that synchronization, making sure that as many of our products are able to bring in that contextual information together, and again, give you better visibility. The next few steps down the road are going to be adding to our existing root cause analysis, RCA chains, which provide in-depth analysis of what's happened on your network. We're going to continue to develop that piece as well to add more analytics around where else are things happening on my network and where else might I have problems, and then offer some suggestions to the administrators on how they might deal with those problems.